Let's change that a little and turn some lights on. Hey, Yasmin. Hi, Megan. Okay, that's a bit better. Can I turn this one on? Hey, Emma. Pardon my hair being wet. Merlin and I went to a new DOD PARK, and he off. Thank you. And he had a fantastic time, but it started sleeting. So I actually hate the word sleet, but my old roommate made up the word snain, which like perfectly describes how gross the weather is. So yeah, we're a little damp, and I got some makeup that's going all over my face. Okay. I am glad to be back, and I am so glad that my pumpkins and my mods are here, and this is going to be a good time. And of course, the second I hit record, Merlin wants to join in. So he's a little wet, so I'm supposed to want to let him up. How cold is it? It's not too bad. It's actually unseasonably warm for the beginning of January. Usually like the beginning of like in between Christmas and New Year's is usually when it gets super cold, and it's like it's above freezing. I want to say 3 degrees Celsius, which is probably like 35 Fahrenheit. It's not too bad. And Merlin's got a toy because he wants to play. Of course he does. Okay, and I don't have any frozen peanut butter cones. Yeah, so I hope everyone's doing well. I wanted to start off this stream by just doing a general 2023 spread, and then we will get into some individual spreads. Now, I mean, I used to be going live on a regular basis, so I don't expect there to be a ton of people in the chat, but we'll just have a great gathering, and yeah, and hopefully we'll just snowball from here. And I had a deck handy. There it is. A tarot reading for like the whole world because, hey Cheryl, because there's a whole lot happening in the world at any given time, right? And I mean, there's good and bad that happens. Like, yes, we're dealing with the war in Ukraine, but at the same time, women's rights are being achieved in many areas of the world, and you know, there are women in Iran who are protesting wearing the hijab, and most likely will end up having that law overturned. Now, that's not to say I'm against the hijab. I am against women being forced. Hi, Maria. Women being forced to dress in a way that they don't want to dress. And if someone wants to wear the hijab, if someone doesn't want to same with any sort of like conservative dress, like it really should be someone's choice. I'm gonna turn the overhead light on as well. I'm still kind of setting up my my filming area. One moment. Okay, here we go. So yeah, we'll see if there's any, surprises. I mean, there's always surprises every year. I don't think I'm breaking up. Am I breaking up for anyone else? I am on. Oh, okay. I'm not sure what I can do about that. I will look into what I can do. But yeah, I'm on the third floor, like I'm in an attic granny flat. So the modem is on the main floor, but I can see about hardwiring. Okay, so here we go. No, I think it's me. All right, so I'm going to do a Celtic Cross for 2023. I wonder if there's a way I can be more specific than the entire world. Like, if there's any area you think that I should focus on with a 2023 reading. I will do individual readings shortly. I look like I'm creepy with this down here. What can I do to prop that up? Okay. So, yes, and I will look into that. Hopefully for Tuesday, I'll have something better. Actually, Tuesdays, no, I won't be able to have something for next week. I'll have something better in place. Because Monday is the holiday since New Year's fell on the weekend. So it'll be Tuesday's kind of like the first day back for everybody. So yeah, I will look at getting a booster. Okay. What can I look into for a 2023 reading? Let's do yeah, and I mean, a lot of people are back to work Monday, but I know the bank is closed in Canada because they're entitled to so many statutory holidays. So they get their holiday on Monday instead of Tuesday, which also means that the check I cashed on Friday is going to take an extra day to clear. Lovely, but that's okay. All right. So yeah, I'll just look at 2023 and see what comes up. And let's hope for a better year than 2022. I'm going to do, fix that small. I'm going to do instead of doing a Celtic cross, I'm going to do a year-long spread. And I wish I could show you. I guess I can pick up the camera. So I do a 13-card spread for New Year's often. So let's see. The next year is going to be. And I don't quite have enough space. Move that up a bit. So when I've done this reading before, it tends to be divided into seasons. So it's not necessarily like one card is January, one card is February. It tends to be more about, yeah, it flows. I have a little kitchenette in my flat, and of course, kitchenette means food, and so Merlin is trying to get in, and I've had to it has folding doors, and so Merlin's figured out how to unfold them, and so he's trying to get in the kitchen, but I've had to tie them shut. Oh, and let's see if we get a card. Okay, so I'll show you what the spread looks like. So usually, it starts here, card number 1, and then goes through the seasons. So this is winter, spring, summer, and fall, and then this is the significator card, which is the kind of the theme card for the year. Merlin is smart. The thing is with beagles that they're smart, but they're stubborn. Which makes them difficult to train. So people think that they're stupid. But yeah, he's a schnickel. Ooh, I like that. Hello. You got your toy? Yeah, throw it. Okay. All right. Not sure I like this reading, but we'll see what goes. Okay. Yes, Merlin, I see. You got your toys. Here you go. Sorry if the squeaking is bothering anyone. Okay, so I will show you. Hi, Angel. Okay, so these are the cards for the reading. So beginning of the reading is So theme of the year, Page of Cups reversed. Queen of Pence upright is the beginning. And we've got the Six of Pence, Three of Wands, and the Ace of Wands reversed. Nine of Swords, the Chariot, Nine of Pence reversed, the Fool, Ace of Cups, Three of Cups reversed, the World reversed, and the Seven of Wands. All right. I like some of this. Okay, sorry about that. Device got disconnected somehow. Okay, so looking at the Queen of Pence starting off the year. There is positivity to begin with the economy. So I think that, yeah, sorry about that. The my camera disconnected. So I'm using a webcam for both my mic and camera right now. I've got stick it up so my hair's all wet. And I'm trying to cover my cyst. Yeah, I got to get that removed. All right. Yeah, starting off with some economic hope, but I think that changes mid-year. So I think that by June we will be looking at a recession, and that's not what people want to hear. But I think that if we are prepared for the recession, as individuals, we'll fare better. I mean, that's one thing with like the industry that I work in as in healthcare is that there's always elderly people who need assistance. There are never shortage of butts to be wiped, right? But yeah, there are other fields that are not going to fare as well. So I think as individuals, we need to be prepared for that and to be really practical about planning, especially about food. So I think that we are going to be looking at food shortages. On one hand, we have supply chain issues, and then on top of that, we're going to have rising costs and inflation, especially with bread. I think bread is going to be the big thing, the cost of bread, and countries go to war over the cost of bread. That's a huge thing. I mean, the French Revolution started with the cost of bread, which led to Marie Antoinette saying, "Why eat bread? Let them eat cake." Which, yeah, obviously made no sense when people are starving, right? And Ukraine is called the breadbasket of the world. A large proportion of the world's grain comes from Ukraine. And so, yeah, I think that food and bread might be a big issue. So, yeah, if you can stock up on flour, might be a good idea. I mean, we all started making our own bread during the pandemic. I've been making my own bread for a while. So, yeah, I think that could be a real issue. So, yeah, you're hearing it here. That sound is called a reverse sneeze. It's very common in beagles when they start sniffing too much, especially like when they get right outside. So just ignore him. He's fine. It's a normal beagle thing. Yeah, so I'm telling my pumpkins right now, you're hearing it here first, stock up on flour. And I will do a bread baking because I often bake my own bread. I'll do a bread baking video at some point because I know somebody asked me for my recipe. It's super simple. Oh, Angel, you're going to go to Mexico. Yeah, I have a friend and I did a video with her. So she was a guest on my stream. If you look for videos, I think it was late 2020, a video called Growing Up Roma with Lorian Raven. She lives in Mexico now, and she's awesome. If you email me, Caroline@carolinironwill.com, I will ask her if I can connect you if you want some information on moving to Mexico. Okay, next is Three of Wands, something arriving. So we're waiting for something to come in, waiting for the ship to come in, and that is distracting our attention. So what are we waiting to arrive? Oh yeah, bread smells better than cake. Tastes better too. Magician. All right. I think this is going to be something to do with global warming, because I pulled the Magician as a clarifier for the Three of Wands. So we've been kind of just waiting for this miracle to like solve global warming, so we don't have to give up anything. And I think that there's some sort of new technology that is invented that that can help us. So now new technologies take time, but I think something's going to be announced that's going to be really exciting. That has the ability to change our trajectory with global warming. In fact, I remember hearing an article or hearing an announcement on it was a science blog, and I'll find something about it and I'll link it below. But something about nuclear fission as energy, because we can get energy from nuclear fusion, nuclear energy quite easily, but nuclear fission has been harder, and they've been working on it for a very long time. And I think I heard that they can do that. So I think that having some having some sort of like moving forward in the technology of how we can like get that into houses and possibly vehicles. And I mean, we don't want to have a Chernobyl every time there's a car accident, but I think there's something going on with the technology that is going to get us on a better path for and that's coming like late spring. Ace of Wands reversed. I think this has to do with war in Ukraine ongoing. Looking at so it was late winter for the technology. Getting into spring, I think that we're looking at something really devastating happening with the war in Ukraine, which is going to make the food inflation and cost of bread, cost of flour way up. So that starts in the spring and then gets bad by summer. Nine of Swords. I think we're looking at a major loss in like somebody who's well known. I don't want to say who it is because I don't know at this point, but it has been my policy as a tarot reader that I would never say that someone is going to die unless they are palliative and have been given that diagnosis by a doctor. Like, that is not my job to tell anyone they're going to die, and I will never do that. Maybe I could find like the industry. Queen of Cups. So again, I think that we're looking at a woman, and I think that we're looking at losing a woman who is older, and who is someone who's been very involved in environmental activism and is an animal lover. This is someone who is also someone who's been like really emotionally healthy for a while. So this is somebody who's like an author who's very sensitive, very kind, very wise. And I do think that we are looking at a woman. Like I said, I don't want to start speculating on who's going to die, because I don't want to tell someone who's going to die. But at the same point, like, I don't want to say an old woman's going to die early spring, because I mean, old people die all the time. So, but I think that we are looking at losing someone who is really quite lovely and quite respected. I just had an idea of who that might be. I'm going to say initials. I have have my own feelings on J.K. Rowling right now, but I was actually thinking of somebody who is involved in Rowling's work. The initials MS. I will come back to that. I will come back to this video and see if what happens with her. That would be devastating. Actually, I don't even know if she is still alive. I'm just going to Google and see if this one is alive, because of course I don't want to ask Google, because then okay. Yes, she is alive. So I think that this is someone who we could lose, and I'm not going to say who it is, but I will say that yeah, I will come back to this. I mean, we're looking at this kind of spring, so I'll come back and look at this in the summer, this video, and if this I will say actress does pass, then I will reveal the name. But yeah, I'm saying MS is the name that is coming to me, and it'll be tough for a lot of people. Hello, Spotter. No worries. As long as the stream's running, you're on time. Yeah, so going into the early summer, I think that's when we're really going to see issue with cost of food and inflation. And if you think like not even bread, but if you think like flour is in everything, and I mean all the products that are gluten-free, the regular product has flour, because that's why there's gluten. Like, there's flour in everything. I've even heard that there's like flour in many salts to make them run smoother. So yeah, I think that cost of flour, that is going to affect the whole world, the cost of wheat. So yes, go out and buy flour. Now, flour does go bad. It can develop the little bugs, what are they called? Weevils. So yeah, it's not going to last forever, but if we can get this, and hopefully the war in Ukraine won't go on for too long, but yeah, if we can get that under, go buy flour. That's what I'm telling you. Okay. Fool. Fool's all about bright new beginnings. So, what was the last? There's a happy-go-lucky, and so I think that yeah, people are not going to want to look at our minds taken off of that. And we've got 10 of Pentacles over that. So there's something that's going to happen financially that is going to alleviate things. So a new financial program, something new with interest rates that's going to be like a long-term plan. Maybe it's like food subsidies. Maybe there's a new type of grain that can be grown somewhere else in greater quantities. So yeah, there's something that is going to be long-term, is going to help with the grain problem, and someone young is going to come up with it. And maybe that's that has to do with the invention that's going to like help us long-term, is going to be this a better way to grow grain. Now, one of the issues with that, and I don't want to get too political in this, because yeah, I don't want to tick people off. I know that there are some people who are very against GMOs, and there are some people who have no opinion, and there are some people that are for them. I am for GMOs because they allow, GMOs are the only reason that the general public isn't starving right now, and that very, very poor people can afford food because we're able to grow more. So yeah, it could be something with genetic engineering, and then there are protests about like, hey, don't mess with the initial wheat grain. But then on top of that, there's like, but we have to, because we can't feed everyone non-GMO organic bread because it's too expensive already. So there has to be some give so that the poor can eat. Ace of Cups. Oh, okay. I think that we are looking at a not very, I mean, is hurricane season ever really good? But I think that we could be looking at some real devastation with hurricanes. Yeah, so be prepared for that. If you live in a coastal city in you know, the eastern U.S. or in the east coast of Asia, be aware of monsoons, because I think that this is going to be a big year. I think that we could be looking at another like Katrina situation with flooding. So I think that there's going to be yeah, some issues with flooding. And I think we're going to look at someone predicting the end of the world. It is not the end of the world, which is why I have the world reversed, because it's not the end of the world. So yeah, I think that it's going to be important to Seven of Wands. This is about defense. So I think this is the allied nations of NATO getting more involved in Ukraine come the end of the year. All right. So yeah, I just delivered a lot of like not nice stuff, but it's kind of like, it's the stuff that's going to make the news. And I mean, if everything was just going to be, you know, all sunshine and roses, that's not going to show up in you know, we're not going to be aware of things in the world. So yeah, I think that we are looking at some new technology that is going to help with wheat production and with global warming and the cost of heating in the form of the nuclear fission. I do think that we are looking at escalation of Russia's war in Ukraine. A lot of this is affecting the cost of flour, the cost of bread. So that is going to lead to a recession. There are two things that humans will always go to war over: cost of bread and water. And yeah, water is a big personal cause for me. But yeah, I think that the cost of bread, like I said, that started the French Revolution. There were I believe that the Arab Springs had something to do with the cost of flour and the cost of wheat. Yeah, nations war over the cost of bread. This is a big deal. I love that song. Yeah, religion and resources. But yeah, a lot of it will come down to yeah, economically, because yeah, there's religious wars for sure. But yeah, and this being a not good hurricane season, and I think a lot of people wake up about global warming, that it is real, and we do need to start paying attention to this because the hurricanes weren't this bad. So I think that we are looking at like at least 1, 5, and maybe a few like 4 level 4 hurricanes. But it's not the end of the world, and I think that eventually the NATO is going to have enough of Putin's crap. Putin is not well. And I mean, we say like, oh, you know, somebody's not well because they're making terrible decisions. But I think that Putin has some health issues, and it's kind of like he wants a legacy. He wants to be remembered, and the legacy that he wants is to regain Russian territory. So before he dies, like, he's kind of like, fuck it. If I'm gonna die anyway, then I might as well like take Ukraine down with me. So he doesn't care what he does because he's not going to be around for it, which is dangerous. But yeah, I think that there's going to be a point where the allied countries, which includes me and Canada, get more involved in the war against Ukraine. All right. Page of Cups is the theme of the year, and usually I start with that card. I knew this one. Page of Cups reversed. And I think that a lot of the problems that are going to happen are going to be because of lack of compassion. So if we can start a movement, maybe just starting with my pumpkins, to have compassion for all humans, not just humans who look like us, not just humans who are on our side of the border, but realize that this is a global effort, and if we can have compassion for each other, then I think that that's what really matters. Okay. That is the 2023 reading that I have. Okay, so now I can get into some individual readings. Readings are free for members, free-form mods, and by donation for others. If you would like a reading, I can do so. I'm also interested in some different things that you'd like to see happen on this channel in the next year. So if there's specific videos you'd like me to make, or if there are readings you'd like me to do, I can absolutely look into doing that. I know the Why I Don't Call Myself a Witch has been highly requested for a long time, and I've actually filmed it like 3 times, and I broke down in tears twice. But filming it means that I have to like record it, and then I have to edit it, and then I have to rewatch it, and it's some very traumatic stuff, like not to me, but just like not good stuff that have happened to people. There's also a boy that I showed a clip of who is unclothed, and it's not done in a predatory way. It's done in a vulnerable way, because this kid's in sub-Saharan Africa and doesn't have any clothes. Yeah, and I also didn't want to use like cutesy words or spell things, and so YouTube didn't just demonetize it; they removed it. They're like, we want nothing to do with this content. So I need to re-record again for the 4th time and edit. And make sure that I'm making it safe, because yeah, it's an awful video. It's like an hour long. Anyway, yeah, no worries, Angel. We're going to have a lot more videos coming up, so yeah, no worries about that. Emma, is there anything you need to be aware of during the coming year? Okay. All right. Well then, you have 4 major arcana cards. So I did situation, body, mind, spirit. You have 4 major arcanas. There are only 22 major arcanas in the deck, so yeah, your odds of getting one, or it's like one, basically a third of the deck is majors, and you have all 4 majors. 2 reverse, 2 upright, and I'll show you what they are. So we've got situation, body, mind, spirit. I kind of like this. I don't know if you will. Okay. So Devil reversed and the Hierophant reversed. I like these 2 here because they are really about being selfish, not being the good girl, facing your fears, not doing what you're supposed to do. And I think this is the year for you to be selfish and to put yourself first, and to not, yeah, and it's going to be scary. Like, I think that you're very used to putting other people first and looking at other people's concerns. And this is the year of like, fuck them. I'm putting me first. And that is liberating, but terrifying at the same time. The Judgment, if you're waiting for a sign, this is it. If there's something you always wanted to do and you're like, but I couldn't do it. And I mean, for the past few years, it's been because COVID. Now is the time. Now is the time to do that. Yeah, if you're waiting for a sign from the universe, this is it. This is the time. And you can make it happen. Like, instead of saying I can't afford this, how can I afford this? If it's like, So think of like, the problem solving to do with that. Now we do have the strength reversed here. And okay, Ace of Cups. And I pulled Ace of Cups as a clarifier on it. So although I think that you should be putting yourself first and being mostly hedonistic, I think that if you go too far hedonistic and not take care of yourself, that there will be consequences. So like if you're saying like, screw everybody, I'm going to do what I want, and you start, drinking excessively or smoking 3 packs a day, that's not good self-care. And that will impact your health long term. So you want to keep will in the end just make things worse and make you regret taking this year of fuck everybody. So yeah, I really want to see you engage in really excellent self-care, but at the same point, have some fun. Really have some fun. Thanks, Angel. This is the Victorian Romantic deck. My friend gave it to me a few years ago. I think it might be out of print. Okay. Yep, I can see how that makes sense. And I'm very sorry to hear that. Are there any other questions that I can answer today? Hey, Cheryl. Yes, I can answer that question for you. I'm glad to see that, because I've been looking at your photos on social media. I'm glad to see you had a fun time with your daughter traveling. But yeah, I know that your kids are night and day. They're so different. All right, so let's look at Cheryl's son. Come back in here. So the cards I have for you: situation, King of Wands reversed. That makes sense. 7 of Wands for body, 4 of Swords for mind, and 6 of Pence for spirit. King of Wands reversed. I see this as a temper card. He is mad, and he's mad at himself, and he's mad at being, he's, it feels like that the anger is covering up for shame. So he's, and you pointed out the shame. And so now he's mad because he wants to do things like he wants to do. And yeah. Defend your stance. You didn't do anything wrong. You didn't say anything wrong. You don't need to back up your statement. 4 of Swords. Let it slide for now. Yes, I'm doing Cheryl's reading. Am I really breaking up that badly? Or am I that delayed? Hi, Angel. Thank you so much for becoming a member. So yeah, let it slide for now. Just let it rest. He will come around. 6 of Pence. You're his mom. He's your baby boy. And most likely he needs something. Which is like not always the reason, but yeah. This period of rest, I know a little bit about your son's your son's situation. This looks like him getting to a point where he's getting help and goes somewhere for help. I don't want to like give too much information. And at that point, he kind of reaches out. So yeah, I don't think that this is permanent, that he's going to be mad at you forever. He's being stubborn and probably a bit immature. And yeah, he's being him. But yeah, he'll come back around. Angel, thank you so much for becoming a member. Do you have a question? Hello, Becky. Becky, I think I saw, and I'll have to look this up again, but I think I saw that our birthday falls on a Tuesday this year. So we can have like a Tarot Tuesday birthday, New Year's party, or not New Year's, Tarot Tuesday birthday party live stream. Happy New Year to you too. You're welcome, Cheryl. With your son, I'm also just, I feel like there's a woman involved, and the woman is enabling him. And that has something to do because she's encouraging him also to not talk to you. When he decides to go somewhere to get help, he will drop her. No worries, Emma. Do what you need to do. Always glad to see you. Oh, Emma, I still owe you a reading, right? Because I was moving and then power was out. So yeah, we'll connect. Okay, that's a great question. So yeah, I try not to answer like super heavy questions in live streams. But yeah, best questions are positive subjects and ones that you have some control of the outcome. So housing is perfect, and moving, and game plan. Sell, rent, owner finance. Okay, I gotcha. Hey, Sherelle, great to meet you. Welcome. Thank you for becoming a member. Okay, no worries, Emma. All right, so Angel's reading. Okay. This is a great reading for someone who's looking at buying a home or moving and relocating homes. Okay. So, whoops. Sorry if I'm making anyone dizzy with the camera. Come on, stay. All right, there we go. So I have a situation card is the Empress reversed. Body, we've got the Queen of Cups. Mind, Nine of Pence. And Spirit is Temperance. Love this. Okay, so Empress reversed is it is going to be hard to leave your current place. So there's this Empress card is like the mother card, and it's like you put a lot of effort and energy into your home, and now it's time to go. With the Nine of Pentacles, this is a card of a self-made woman. I often see this with entrepreneurs or women who've like made it on their own. Temperance is about timing, perfect timing. Queen of Cups, I think that you're gonna be able to find your home, find your place. Like it's gonna click. So we're looking at long-term wealth. So that does to me say buying. That does look to me like investments. That does look like long-term. So yeah, I think that you are going to be looking at owning again. The market is going to cool down a bit. You are going to get a good deal on your house though, and I think that the timing is just going to be right. Oh, perfect. Okay. Yeah, the timing is going to be just right, and it's going to just kind of fall into place. So yeah, with that temperance of like that perfect timing, 9 of Pence, you're going to come out of that on top. Yeah, and yeah, Queen of Cups. This is going to be like a work of passion. So yeah, you're emotionally invested in this investment that you moved into. Okay, yeah, yeah. I think that you're definitely going to yeah, get a lot of money on that, and I think that there's a I mean, the market's going to cool down a bit, but it's going to be, we do have that recession coming, aware of that. So you probably want to do that sooner than later, because once they actually announce that there's a recession, then things are going to start changing in terms of like the market, and there's going to be more hesitancy to move. So hopefully that answered your question. Hopefully that answered your question. Sherelle, did you have a question? You're most welcome. Great. I like that, Cheryl. I can absolutely do that for you. So after this, if no one else wants a reading, we're probably going to call it a day. If that sounds good to you. We'll have some lunch and we'll get on with it. And then I'll see you again on Tuesday. Okay. Nine of Wands for situation. 6 of Cups for body. 3 of Wands for mind. And 10 of Pence for spirit. So what this says to me is that you need to reevaluate your battle plan. So kind of just take a step back and look at the big picture and see if this is actually where you want to go. And if it's not, change course. If there's something that you're waiting on and you've been waiting on for a long time, don't get distracted by that, because that might not come through. So if you're waiting for somebody to do something so that you have money, so that you have the means to do something, it's probably not coming. So you're better off to have a plan that relies on you than relies on someone else. Bye, Angel. Thanks again for joining. Have a happy new year. There's a look at this, because we have all minor cards here. This isn't a huge big, now that my hair's drying, I'm going to play with my hair. I'm going to grab an elastic very quick, and then I'll get back to this reading. My hair is just it. All right, much better. So yeah, this isn't a serious thing that I'm bringing up. There's something that body-wise that either is very associated with children, or is something that you had as a kid that's going to become an issue again. I don't like giving personal examples, but I guess the best thing is, like, when I was little, I always got earaches, and I still get earaches, and those are usually a childhood thing. And my doctor's like, "And how old are you?" but yeah, there's something kind of reoccurring from childhood that is it's going to be an issue, but it's not a long-term thing, and it's not going to be super serious. Sherelle, the other thing, like, I can't see you, I don't know you. Are you a smaller person? I'm almost thinking like this could be like physically small, like short. Not that I'm trying to shame anyone, but it could be like that becomes an issue, that you're not being able to reach something, like, when you were a kid, and that could be or actually, hang on, no, back up. Okay, this is what I know. Let's let go of the childhood issue thing, because I think what this feels like is you feeling like a kid. Okay, I've got it now. This makes sense. So ignore the childhood. Oh, 5'2". Okay. This is, so yeah, ignore the childhood illness thing. I think is going somewhere else. So 9 of Wands, reevaluating your plan. When you're a kid, you're waiting for everyone to do things for you. You're waiting for people to lift you up, to feed you, to do everything. I think that you've kind of feeling like a kid, and if you're waiting for someone to like rescue you, you are the one that's going to rescue you. And if you're waiting for somebody else to do something, you're going to be disappointed. So I want to see this as you empowering you. So this is like, yeah, if you can't reach something, instead of asking for somebody else, get a stool. That's kind of what it feels like. So yeah, I think that this could really be your year if you put yourself in control and rely on yourself. But I think that this would not go well if you were waiting for somebody else to do something for you. Hopefully that makes sense. I believe in you, and I think that you can pull it off. All right, does anyone have any other questions? Good, Charlie. I'm glad that that made sense to you. Okay, so I think I'm going to close out the stream. I had a fantastic time talking with you. I've missed you all. We will do it again on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I know that our Euro mods probably won't be able to make that because it's the middle of the night, but I know that my North American mods are in Central Standard Time, so it's like 7 p.m. for them. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you to my mods. Yay! I have the best mods, and I'm so grateful for my mods. We have a great little team. Thank you for everyone who joined. Thank you for becoming a member. Thank you for those who got readings. May you have a fantastic day, and may you pray with a good fire. Bye, pumpkins.